It's been a long time a-coming. Can't you read the signs?
Recently I made a YouTube program called The Deadly Decision. This had to do with a promise I made to soldiers of the 36th Division more than 60 years ago. I promised the men of the 36th Division that I would talk about what they went through during the Battle of the Rapido River Crossing in 1944. I call this the Rapido River Double Crossing because of what happened after these soldiers came home in 1946 and demanded an investigation by Congress into what happened to them by an inefficient and unimaginative general that they didn't believe, and I don't believe, knew what he was doing and shouldn't have been in charge of men's lives after being 110th in his class out of 139. This is ridiculous. And I'm going to read you the resolution that they took in 1946. Resolved, the men of the 36th Division Association in convention assembled at Brownwood, Texas, petition the Congress of the United States to investigate the Rapido River fiasco and take the necessary steps to correct a military system that will permit an inefficient and inexperienced officer such as General Mark Clark in a high command to destroy the young manhood of this country and to prevent future soldiers from being sacrificed wastefully and uselessly. Hey, why do I say these soldiers were double-crossed? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why this investigation by Congress was whitewashed. Because Eisenhower was in charge of Mark Clark. He put Mark Clark in charge of this operation in Italy. And I'll tell you the reason why. And I'll read the facts. Eisenhower's opportunity for advancement was made possible by Mark Clark. Eisenhower became Chief of Staff of the Third Army stationed in Antonio in June 1941. He was first called to the attention of General George Marshall, the United States Army Chief of Staff, when Marshall needed to replace his Chief of Staff Plans section at the Pearl Harbor. Eisenhower told Clark, "You are more responsible than anybody in this country for giving me my opportunity." No doubt he was referring to Clark's kindness at Fort Lewis, as well as bringing Eisenhower to Marshall's attention. In an opportunity twist of fate, Clark's friendship with Eisenhower also helped Clark gain the prominence he had attained, and that's why this investigation by Congress was whitewashed, because Eisenhower must have put a lot of pressure on those senators to have this investigation whitewashed. My belief that everybody can take a difference is what I learned while I was in intelligence during World War II. One of many mistakes that Clark made cost the lives of so many Americans that it was no joke. I'll tell you what the first mistake was. In the invasion of Salerno, Mark Clark used poor judgment in ordering the battle wagons that were stationed off the coast of Salerno not to fire their guns at the gun emplacements on the shores of Salerno because he wanted to gain surprise. Well, that was a big joke, because if the battleships had knocked out those guns, there would have been no tragedy or surprise, no help from surprise by that. He cost the lives of 4,000 Americans on the shores of Salerno, and I won't forget that. And then when the Battle of San Pietro took place, he lost 1,100 men in a suicidal attack on the town of San Pietro. Any general worth his salt knows that you have to have flank protection when you attack an open area of ground, but not Mark Clark. After all, he was 110th in his class. He must have been asleep when strategy was planned. That happened at Salerno. 4,000 at Salerno and 1,100 at San Pietro, and now came the Rapido River attack. The Rapido River attack in 48 hours cost the lives of 2,100 Americans. They were your sons. Don't you remember this? They were your sons. Under attack of a general that erased Americans' lives because of his incompetence. Now, my brother, I blame Mark Clark also for the death of my brother that served in the 85th Division. On May 11th, General Montgomery, the British, not General Montgomery, General Alexander, the British general, that was on the overall charge of the campaign in Italy, told Mark Clark to go to Anzio so he could take over the Battle of the Casino. Battle of Casino and Augusta Flying. He ordered 2,000 artillery pieces on May 11 to open up on the German defenders, and he broke through where Mark Clark couldn't. They had the Germans on the run, and General Alexander ordered Mark Clark to cut off the Germans and capture thousands of Germans trying to escape from Casino. Mark Clark disobeyed orders from General Alexander and ordered his troops north to capture Rome before the British. He had such an ego problem. Instead of the American troops going east to capture the Germans that were retreating, all the soldiers that were under his command were ordered north to capture Rome before the British. He had an ego problem. He wanted to capture Rome before Alexander decided to do it to his troops. You could cut her off there. Okay. Of YouTube. I want this Washington to reopen this hearing so justice will prevail. I am contacting the top criminal lawyers in this country to see if anything can be done to get honor and for the compensation of those that fought and died at the Rapido River Crossing. Robert Shapiro is one of my first lawyers that I am contacting. And I would like to put some pressure on these criminal lawyers. So I would like your letters and emails. Email me at sam.lembo@yahoo.com. And I will present all those letters to these criminal lawyers to see if we can get some justice done. After all, these are your sons that died needlessly in battle. Only you, the people that suffer from loss of a loved one, know the tragedy that follows such a thing as this. Thank you, dear listeners. And don't forget, let me know that you remember, you two listeners, my motto: we all can make a difference to better the lives of others. I want to make a difference in the lives of future soldiers of this country. And by what I have to say about the Rapido River attack. I wrote letters to President Obama about Afghanistan because I don't believe in that war. I don't believe Americans should lose more lives. And as a consequence, I believe that President Obama has kept our soldiers away from any serious attacks that could kill a lot of them. He wrote me after I corresponded with him, and he said, "Dear friend, thank you for sharing your views with me. I appreciate your perspective. So, my dear friends, I want you to remember, we all can make a difference to better the lives of others. So correspond with me so I can use your letters to save American lives. Remember, they're your sons." And thank you.